Hi, everybody. My name is Karen Noe, and I'm the author of We Consciousness 33 Profound Truths for Inner and Outer Peace. Today, I'm going to be talking about concept 7 of the We Consciousness, which states that all animals are part of the We Consciousness. To disrespect them is to disrespect ourselves because they are part of who we are. I know that's hard to understand. But if you understand that we are all one, and whatever one does to oneself or another, it does affect the whole. Okay? So to live a life of compassion and nonviolence includes protecting and loving everyone, especially those who are defenseless and who have no voice. Last week, I was on Facebook and I saw an amazing clip of the movie Powder. And I don't know if you saw the movie Powder, but it's a really good movie. If you can watch it, do watch it. It's on Netflix, I believe. But I can't remember the main character's name. But the main character, if I start to cry, just bear with me, because this is very personal to me. The main character in Powder was able to feel the feelings of everyone and everything, including the animals. And he was outside, and he was in the midst of hunters that were hunting, and they actually shot a deer. And the deer went down and started to bleed. And the main character of Powder felt the pain and the agony of this beautiful, precious being, and was so upset by what the hunters were doing. But he understood that the hunters didn't understand what they were doing. They had no idea. So what he did was he took one of the hunter's hands and put it on his hand. And then he put their hands on the deer's head as it was bleeding. And the hunter was able to feel the pain and the agony and the terror of the precious being, the precious deer. And the hunter went hysterical. He was hysterical. And he never understood what was happening to him. Eventually on in the movie, he said he would never hunt again because he had a bigger understanding. A similar thing happened to me about 25 years ago. I had an experience with the light. And I won't go into detail with that. If you've read any of my books, We Consciousness, Your Life After Their Death, all of them, I talk about that experience. But after I had the experience with the light, I was able to feel deceased loved ones and the angels. And then at that point, I was able to feel the feelings of everyone around me, including the animals. Right after that time, I was never able to eat meat again. I couldn't do it because I felt the pain, similar to what the main character in Powder was able to do. I was able to feel the pain of the animals after they were slaughtered, and I could never eat meat again. Now, because of that, I didn't eat a healthy diet in the beginning. I just was a vegetarian. Long story short, I talk more about it in the We Consciousness. If you're interested, you could read it in the book. But long story short, after consecutive events, my cholesterol was up the kazoo because all I ate was cheese and pasta, and I ate junk food. Little did I know that the dairy industry was just as bad as the meat industry. But at that time, I did it for my health reasons. I became a vegan. And within a short period of time, within a month, my cholesterol went down 130 points with no medication. I have since learned the gory details of what the dairy industry does to the animals as well. And if I would have known that years ago, I would have become vegan years ago as well. But I didn't know that. But let me explain something. When I do speak to, I speak to many groups around the country, and I teach lectures and classes. And whenever I talk about veganism, that's when I lose people, and I see their eyes glassed over. The reason being is not because they don't want to become a vegan, because I know that everyone is a compassionate being of love and light. I see that they think they can't become a vegan, that it's too difficult. But I'm here to tell you that being a vegan is the best thing that I have ever done. It's easy, it's healthier, and it's better for the environment. And I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes as well. But When I see the glazed eyes, going over and they're not listening to what I'm saying, I try to talk to people in a way that they can understand what I'm saying, because I really want people to get this. Just like the main character in Powder and so forth, what I tell people is, if they think they can't become a vegan, how about trying one day a week of going vegan, a plant-based diet, dairy-free, 1 day a week. You will see how easy it is. You will see how wonderful you feel. It's more compassionate, it's better for the environment, and it's healthier. But you will see, if you can do that, you will save one animal's life every day that you become a vegan. So if you follow me on Facebook, you will see I post very positive posts all the time about love and peace, especially of the beautiful animals, and I talk about the benefits of being a vegan. But when I was just a vegetarian, I didn't know the details of the dairy industry. So today I'm just going to share a few of the details, not gory, I won't get into that. I just want you to know what goes on so that you truly understand. Okay? For example, cows, they have to be artificially impregnated to give milk because they have to have given birth to give milk, right? So they're rigged. They're artificially impregnated to give milk. They're cramped in a little place, and they just have to give milk. And by the way, let's just go back a little bit. Cow milk is for cows. Human milk is for humans. And after a certain period of time, when we as mothers, we breastfeed, after a certain amount of time, the babies don't need the breast milk anymore. And so it is with us. We don't need cow's milk, but that's a different story all by itself. If you like milk, there's almond milk, cashew milk, soy milk, and so forth. They're wonderful alternatives. There's even oat milk I just found out about. But let's just say you want milk. But what happens to the cows, that's what happens. When the cows give birth to the babies are forcibly taken away from them, ripped away from them, and the cows, they cry. They cry, the mother cries, the baby cries, because they're forcibly taken away from each other, just as a human mother would do with their baby. Okay? Now, if the babies are male, they're instantly slaughtered because they're not valuable, or they're used as veal baby meat, and they're stuck in a confined area. So that's what happens. And I could go into more details on the female. If they're a female, they have to live the same fate as their mother. And the same thing, over and over. After 4 years, they are not even valuable anymore, and they're slaughtered. They're shot, they're sliced, their necks are sliced so that they are sold for meat. I'll just go into a little bit more details about the egg industry, and then I'll talk positive, I promise you. But I just need you to know these details. Many of us don't know this, and I didn't know it. I didn't know it as well. I thought just being a vegetarian was a wonderful thing to do, which it is. But the dairy, when chickens lay eggs, first of all, they're forced to lay 300 eggs a year, which is absurd. In the wild, chickens only lay 12 eggs a year. They are forced in these tiny, tiny places, so crowded together that they're forced to urinate on each other, defecate on each other, and it's so uncomfortable that they remove the beaks of the chickens so that they don't peck on each other, okay? When the eggs are hatched, if they're males, they are forcibly forcibly suffocated and forced to be grinded up and killed. Okay, and if, I could go on and on and on, but I can't right now. I'm very upset, but I'm not sure you know these statistics. If you did, I know you are compassionate. You are part of humanity's team. You want to make a difference, okay? There's a wonderful, amazing slogan by Edgar's mission in Australia that says, if we can live happy and healthy lives without harming anyone, why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? So let me state a couple of nice positive facts about being a vegan, okay? Okay, let's go. Here we go. These are wonderful facts. Being a vegan. If you've ever watched the documentary Forks Over Knives, if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. There's 2 doctors that have done extensive research, Doctors Campbell and Doctors Esselstyn, that said you could reverse heart disease, you could reverse diabetes and some kinds of cancer by eating a plant-based, non-processed diet. I highly recommend you watch that documentary. It's amazing. You could get it on Netflix. There's another wonderful documentary called What the Health. And again, it talks about the amazing benefits of eating a plant-based diet. Then in veganism, and I know you as humanities team will truly understand and love this, it's the best thing you could do for the environment, okay? As a matter of fact, let me explain. According to John Watt Robbins, author of Diet for a New America, the land required to feed one person who's a vegan for 1 year is 1/6 of an acre. The land required to feed one person who's a vegetarian is 3 times as much as a vegan, and the land required to feed one person who's a meat and dairy consumer is 18 times as much as vegan. This information and more is beautifully documented in another documentary called Cowspiracy, The Sustainability Secret. So I highly recommend you watching that too. You have a lot of homework today. But that's not all. By going vegan, you'll help the world in the following ways. You will be reducing the amount of waste caused by animal agriculture, which is the leading cause of species extinction, ocean dead zones, water pollution, and habitat destruction. By being vegan, you will be reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Animal agriculture is responsible for more emissions than all transportation combined. Let me say that again. Animal agriculture is responsible for more emissions than all transportation combined. By being a vegan, daily, this is what's going to be happen to the environment. You'll be saving 1,100 gallons of water, 45 pounds of grain, 30 square feet of forest land, 20 pounds of carbon dioxide equivalent, and most importantly, one animal's life each day that you lead a vegan lifestyle. So are you with me on this? I know you can do it. I know you can do it. And I said it in a way that most people will understand. Try to be that person who could see through the eyes of everyone and everything. Try to see and have compassion for all of life. Remember, living a life of compassion and violence includes protecting everyone, especially those who are defenseless and have no voice. And again, the wonderful slogan by Edgar's mission, if we could live happy and healthy lives without harming anyone, why wouldn't we? I love you. I will see you again next week here on Humanities Team, live on Facebook. Have an amazing week. Bye-bye.